Welcome to this video on the Prime Minister, an important topic for UPSC students. The Indian Constitution establishes a parliamentary system of government with distinct roles for the head of state and head of government. The President serves as the nominal executive authority de jure and functions as the head of state in India's parliamentary system. The Prime Minister holds the position of real executive authority de facto and functions as the head of government with actual governing power. Let's now see how the Prime Minister is appointed. The Constitution doesn't specify the Prime Minister's appointment process. Per Article 75, the President appoints the PM but cannot choose arbitrarily. The President typically appoints the majority party/coalition leader as Prime Minister. Without a clear majority, the President selects a candidate who must secure Lok Sabha confidence within a month. Following a PM's sudden death, the President may directly appoint a successor, as with Rajiv Gandhi after Indira Gandhi's assassination in 1984, bypassing the caretaker PM process. Next, let's look at some legal rulings about this appointment. Delhi High Court, 1980. No Lok Sabha majority needed for PM appointment. Supreme Court, 1997. PM must join Parliament within 6 months or resign. Unlike India, British PMs must be members of the House of Commons lower house. PMs like Rao and Vajpayee were appointed without clear majorities. Some PMs, like Manmohan Singh, served from Rajya Sabha rather than Lok Sabha. Now let's talk about the oaths the Prime Minister takes. Before assuming office, the Prime Minister takes oaths of office and secrecy. The oath pledges to uphold the Constitution, serve the nation, and discharge duties fairly. In the oath of secrecy, the Prime Minister promises not to disclose any matters that come to their attention as a union minister, except as required for the performance of their duties. Moving on, let's discuss the term and salary of the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister serves at the President's pleasure with no fixed term. However, the President cannot dismiss a PM who maintains Lok Sabha majority support. The PM must resign upon losing the Lok Sabha's confidence or face dismissal by the President. Parliament determines the PM's salary and allowances comparable to MP compensation. The PM also receives a sumptuary allowance, free housing, travel allowances, medical benefits, and other official perquisites. Let's now explore the powers of the Prime Minister with the Council of Ministers. The Prime Minister enjoys the following powers as head of the Union Council of Ministers. 1. He recommends persons who can be appointed as ministers by the President. 2. He allocates and reshuffles various portfolios among the ministers. 3. He can ask a minister to resign or advise the President to dismiss him in case of a difference of opinion. 4. He presides over the meeting of the Council of Ministers and influences its decisions. 5. He guides, directs, controls, and coordinates the activities of all the ministers. Next, let's see how the Prime Minister works with the President. The Prime Minister is the principal channel of communication between the President and the Council of Ministers. To communicate to the President all decisions of the Council of Ministers relating to the administration of the affairs of the Union and proposals for legislation. To furnish such information relating to the administration of the affairs of the Union and proposals for legislation as the President may call for. And the Prime Minister submits matters for the Council of Ministers' consideration if the President requires it. The Prime Minister advises the President on key appointments like the Attorney General, Comptroller, and UPSC members. Now, let's look at the Prime Minister's role with Parliament. 1. He advises the President with regard to summoning and proroguing of the sessions of the Parliament. 2. He can recommend the dissolution of the Lok Sabha to President at any time. 3. He announces government policies on the floor of the House. Let's move on to other important duties of the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister's responsibilities extend beyond core executive duties. Chairs the Niti Aayog, successor to the Planning Commission. Shapes India's foreign policy and international relations. Leads the National Integration Council, Interstate Council, and National Water Resources Council. Communicates government policies to the public as spokesperson for the Union government. Acts as principal leader during national emergencies. Makes critical decisions during national crises. Traveling across the country, the Prime Minister meets different sections of society to hear their problems. The Prime Minister receives memoranda outlining societal issues. Additionally, the Prime Minister leads the political party in power. The Prime Minister oversees the administration and functioning of all government services. Lord Morley described the Prime Minister as primus inter pares, first among equals, and the keystone of the cabinet arch. Herbert Morrison noted that as the head of the government, the Prime Minister is primus inter pares, but believes this view is too modest for the Prime Minister's actual role. Sir William Werner Harcourt likened the Prime Minister to interstellar luna minores, a moon among lesser stars. Jennings described the Prime Minister as a sun around which other members revolve, calling him the keystone of the Constitution. H. J. Lasky spoke about the Prime Minister's role in relation to the Cabinet, stating that the Prime Minister is central to its formation, existence, and dissolution. H.R.G. Greaves commented that the government is in charge of the country and the Prime Minister is in charge of the government. Munro referred to the Prime Minister as the captain of the ship of the state. Ramsay Muir compared the Prime Minister to the steersman of the steering wheel of the ship of the state. R. H. Grossman stated that the post-war period has seen a transformation of cabinet government into prime ministerial government. Humphrey Berkeley pointed out that Parliament is not truly sovereign in practice, stating that parliamentary democracy has collapsed at Westminster. PM must maintain communication with President. Article 74. A council of ministers with the PM as head shall aid and advise the President, who must act according to such advice. Article 75A. The President appoints the PM and other ministers on the PM's advice. PM must inform President of cabinet decisions, proposed laws, and address any issues requested by President. Now, let's look at some chief ministers who became Prime Minister. 6 individuals served as Prime Ministers after being Chief Ministers. Morarji Desai, Chief Minister of Bombay Stay 1952 to 1956. Became first non-Congress Prime Minister in 1977. Charan Singh, Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh 1967 to 1968, 1970. Succeeded Desai as Prime Minister. VP Singh, led National Front government as Prime Minister December 1989, November 1990. Former Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh. P.V. Narasimha Rao, first South Indian Prime Minister 1991 to 1996. Former Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh 1971 to 1973. H.D. Devegowda, Chief Minister of Karnataka before becoming Prime Minister, leading United Front government in 1996. Narendra Modi, Chief Minister of Gujarat for 4 terms 2001 to 2014 before becoming Prime Minister in May 2014, representing BJP. Let's now understand what a caretaker government is. This type of government is mainly a temporary solution and a necessary function during specific situations. Parliament is dissolved, triggering caretaker government. Temporary government is formed to manage affairs. Caretaker government organizes elections. Caretaker government refrains from major policy changes, addressing urgent issues despite limitations. New government takes over after elections. Now, let's see the limits of a caretaker government. A caretaker government is formed after elections to handle routine operations until a new government is established. A caretaker government has a limited role during elections to ensure a smooth transition to a new government. Cannot announce or start new government initiatives. Cannot approve allowances, loans, or salary increases. Cannot initiate or promise new projects. Cannot hold ministerial events. Let's look at an example from history about this. In August 1979, President N. Sanjeeva Reddy stated during the dissolution of the Lok Sabha after listening invegener construction. The President had discussions with the Prime Minister and some cabinet members who assured that elections will be conducted peacefully, freely, and fairly. The revision of electoral rolls will begin immediately. The government will avoid making decisions during this time that create new policies, involve significant new spending, or constitute major administrative actions. However, urgent matters related to national interest will still be addressed. In December 1979, the Calcutta High Court noted that there is no specific mention of a caretaker government in the Constitution. But in extraordinary situations, a caretaker government is necessary. The Prime Minister and the Council of Ministers can only manage daily administration to prepare for a new arrangement. Caretaker Prime Ministers are limited by two main factors. The usual accountability to Parliament is absent, and the government should not misuse its position for electoral gain.
We hope you have understood this topic well. Now, you can read the chapter notes, watch video lectures, and solve MCQs on EduRep.